This is the download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news in the business of podcasting. I'm Gavin Gaddis. Here's what you need to know for today, Wednesday, May 28th. First up, I've got a webinar roundup for you. There's quite a few webinars in the business of podcasting happening in the next few days and weeks. I've made a little handy-dandy section in the newsletter to show off what you can attend, when you can attend it, and registration links to get there. So go to soundsprofitable.com, find today's episode. You can go through all of those and click to your heart's content, but I'll run through them right here now for you as well. First up, this one happens tomorrow as of this going up. The Infinite Dial UK 2025, that's May 29th, that's Thursday, at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. By the way, I'm going to stick with Eastern as sort of the standard across all of these. For this one, Edison Research debuted the Infinite Dial UK 2025 at Podcast Show London last week. Tomorrow, they'll be highlighting insights on specific aspects of the report, like online audio listening, in-car audio habits, and podcast consumption. Next up, the podcast data your CMO cares about, how to measure what moves the needle. That's on June 3rd. At 11 Eastern Standard. Quill and co-host founder Fatima Zaidi and Sounds Profitable's Tom Webster will give a 15-minute presentation on what podcast success actually looks like in 2025, including why traditional metrics are no longer enough, how to analyze audience behavior, and how to build podcast reports your CMOs will actually care about. Next up, Quarter 2 2025 Podscribe Performance Benchmark Webinar. This is on June 3rd as well. This one a little later in the day at 1 p.m. Podscribe gives a sneak peek into their latest quarterly benchmark data before it goes public, including which audience segments are converting best this year, how measurement of audio campaigns is scaling internationally, and how soon does your audience take action after listening to an ad. And the next day, the Advertising Landscape Part 2, Attention and Trust. This is on June 4th at 2 p.m. Tom Webster presents the latest chapter of the landmark Advertising Landscape 2025 study, this time looking specifically at how podcasting continues to defy expectations in a world that has taught consumers how to avoid advertising at all costs. And finally, Audio First Success, why not every podcast needs video, and why advertisers shouldn't worry. This is July 9th at 1 p.m. True Native Media is hosting a panel discussing why audio-first podcasting is still important in the age of video and reasons why advertisers shouldn't overlook audio-only podcasting. The webinar will feature panelists like True Native Media founder Heather Osgood, Acast Creative Studios VP Emily Rudder, and Sounds Profitable partner Brian Barletta. On to the next story. Do we need to champion spoken word audio in a world of video hype? This is by Matthew McLean at The Podcast Host. After an episode of Buzzcast featured Albin Brooke discussing how this year's Evolutions by Podcast movement featured, quote, unrelenting talk about video, end quote, McLean made a point of talking to industry veterans at Podcast Show London about the spoken word side of the industry. Video is doing well and is a vital part of the industry, but many agree spoken word needs more support as it's a cornerstone of podcasting and has its own unique strengths. I'll once again steal from Tom Webster's Evolutions 2025 keynote to summarize. For audiences who listen while doing a daily task, such as commuting or doing chores, audio podcasting isn't spent time, it's found time. It's a companion medium. As voice actor Felix Trench, you should check out Wooden Overcoats, by the way, thank me later, told McLean, quote, we'll always be chopping carrots at 6:30, end quote. And for a final top story, Q2 brought calm but not confidence as CMOs spend with caution. While ad spend stayed consistent in the first quarter, Q2 is less of a clear-cut success, according to CMOs interviewed by Digiday. For example, Tal Jacobson, CMO of ad tech vendor Perion, says usually by this time of year they have visibility on ad spend 6 to 9 months ahead. Right now, they're at 3 months. Budgets are more cautiously being committed and in the short term, as global economics have fluctuated unpredictably. Marketers are returning to recession-era plays of doubling down on fast-performing and proven spend that makes every dollar count. Podcasting would be one of those, by the way. The good news is, so far at least, it seems concerns of the ad industry talking itself into another slowdown like a couple years ago have yet to materialize in 2025. As for the rest of the news, former VP and CRO of Barometer, John Sardellis, has announced he's joining the BBC as head of sales podcasts for North America. Quill has announced the winners of the 5th annual Quill Podcast Awards. If you check out the B2B winner, a certain somebody talking right now was a judge on that. Progressive news network Courier has launched the video podcast How Is This Better?, written and hosted by Akilah Hughes. Pave Studios founder Max Cutler has a new LinkedIn article detailing why Pave uses the term show instead of podcast, and why Cutler feels the success of the industry has reached an inflection point where the term podcasting has outserved its purpose. The Agency Side podcast from Coming Up Creative has a new episode interviewing Jordan Fox, CEO of Ad Results Media, about the world of audio advertising, and Listener has announced a new season of their award-winning serialized documentary podcast, Secrets We Keep, led by returning host Amelia Oberhart, this time focusing on Australia's fertility industry. Be sure to check out the links to every article mentioned right in your podcast listening app or at soundsprofitable.com, where you can also subscribe to the newsletter version. The download is written and produced by myself, Brian Barletta, and Tom Webster. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis. Download us again tomorrow.